Greetings, mortals. Welcome to Mysteries of Peak Valley 3, The Ruin of Souls. I may have to look into the Mysteries of Peak Valley 1 and 2 if I like this one. And sorry for my lack of videos lately, it's been too hot to do much of anything. You're a worthless, pathetic little man, Albert. How can you behave like this in front of our guests? Have you lost your mind? Well, aren't you just a lollipop full of ass? You're worthless, Albert. You're pathetic, Albert. Shut up. Just shut up. Put the gun away, Albert. We can figure this out. Oh, now you won't figure it out. There's nothing more to figure out. I'm going to do something I should have done a long time ago. Cast into hell, Satan and all the evil spirits who roam throughout the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. Okay. Come on, officer. You don't really have to keep me here, do you? Standard procedure, sir. I just need to ask you a few questions. Standard procedure? Couldn't you just take my statement down at the station? I am a little shaken up over here. This won't take long, sir. We just need to ascertain what happened here. It's not like I want to be here either. Just cooperate and then we can all go home. Besides, we wouldn't want you to go off and forget something now, would we? The cop furrowed his heavy brows and forced a smile. I have to admit, it took me a while to see through his incredibly subtle and sarcastic demeanor, but then it dawned on me. I was a potential suspect in a murder case. Not great considering that I arrived at Burnham Manor to write a story, not to become one. Okay. Well, I could at least admit what? Yeah. I didn't get to read that! How to play. Interact with and investigate your surroundings by tapping on the area you wish to examine. You can access the inventory by selecting the briefcase icon. To use an inventory item, select the item and then select the area or character you wish to use it on. The options menu can be accessed by selecting the cog icon. This game autosaves at checkpoints and key events, but you can also save manually. For best audio experience, use headphones or attach speakers to your device. Okay. A large white sheet had been thrown over the floor to mask what remained of the bloody crime scene. The cynic in me figured it was just typical in a pseudo-symbolic kind of way. The two candle cages helped light up the room with a dim glow. One might have asked themselves why and how these candles had been lit. The answer might have been obvious, but not to me. A single red rose rested in the vase on top of the old chest of drawers. I could have sworn that the rose looked healthier now than when I arrived. The butler here might have been insane, but he sure had some good preservational skills. I hadn't seen a bowl filled with potpourri since visiting my grandmother's house, and it was equally unremarkable. It looked like some kind of diary. Had it not been for the inquisitive cop in my way, I'd have taken it back to the news desk for sure. Okay, so what did he give me permission to do? A number of mysteries could have waited behind those closed doors, but alas, they wouldn't be mine to solve, at least not yet. Sure, I wanted to leave, but unfortunately for me, I just wound up embroiled in a homicide case. The rose is glowing. Am I supposed to do something with the rose? As much as I was curious as to what technique the crazy butler used to preserve the rose, If I'd taken that to my boss, he'd probably have laughed me into unemployment. It's glowing! Cop was like a caricature of law enforcement personnel that would get downgraded to a position like this. You know, fat, old, and past his prime. But hey, he had the sense of humor. He seemed close to retirement. Quite frankly, I kind of felt sorry for the guy. It was the bed of the so-called white lady. She was some newly wedded woman who died here a while back. The owners of the manor decided it would make a good tourist attraction and ran with the ghost story to cash in. Or so I thought. What the hell am I supposed to do? Being a journalist that I am, of course I wanted to start searching the chest of drawers. I'm guessing it probably wouldn't have been much of a good idea, though, with the cop watching over me and all. See, I suppose you can answer a few of my questions before we go ahead and do the whole statement routine. Are you being serious right now? In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have asked him that. I soon decided that my time would be better spent taking notes on the crime scene. So, thinking on my feet, I quickly scribbled down a sketch of the crime scene on my notepad. I knew they wouldn't let me, a suspect, back in here with my camera. I needed to concentrate on the finer details, and this was going to be as good as I could get for now. Besides, I wasn't about to let those 2 expensive years of art school go to waste. That's long enough. I'm gonna have to take your statement now. Fine, just do what you have to do already. Alright, sir, can you state your name and occupation for me? Imagine tell the truth. Leonard Parks. I'm a journalist for the Peak Valley Times newspaper. You might have heard me, I'm kind of a big deal. Very good. Now, Mr. Parks, in your own words, what exactly happened here? I want you to try and be as specific as you can. Look at it this way. The more you can tell me now, the fewer questions I will need to ask later. Direct answer. The butler of the manor, Albert, I believe his name was, he shot and killed a young man by the name of Zach Geller, for turning the gun on himself. I think Albert's intended victim was his wife. Zach Geller, huh? Ain't he that psychic medium? Oh, come on, you're not going to lead with this totally amateur line of questioning, are you? I mean, besides, as unfortunate as his death might be, the guy was a fraud. You shouldn't jump to conclusions, Mr. Parks. Nobody is dead yet. You mean they're still alive? But, oh, surely that's not possible. I mean, I was here, I should know. I'll ask the question, sir. Anyway, what makes you say Mr. Geller was a fraud? Dang, I was distracted by a mosquito. What? No, I see what you're doing here. Listen, that guy went around claiming he could speak to ghosts. Come on, seriously, how could you possibly claim that with a straight face? And let me guess, you don't believe in ghosts, right? Are you kidding me? Where there are hidden cameras? Of course, there is no such thing as ghosts. Is the whole place shaking? Holy mother of damn, what in the hell is going on in this place? I need some backup in here right now. I think I just found my story. Sasha, what are you doing? smashing over there? You are covered in spider webs. As I awoke, I was greeted by a cold and hollow embrace. The first words I uttered on instinct rang out, lonely in all the glory of a tired cliché. The room I found myself in seemed familiar, yet I couldn't quite recall ever being here. It was peaceful. Am I dreaming? Suddenly, the cool embrace I experienced dropped to an ice-cold chill. Memories of the moments that led me up to that point began to spin around my head like feathers in the wind. Considering that I had just been shot at point-blank range, it could have been much worse. Still, something wasn't right, and I need to find some answers fast. What? Alright, Zach. Keep it together. Looking down at the bloody sheet strewn on the floor made the hairs on the back of my neck stand to attention. That was my blood. Images of the man who pulled the trigger edged into my mind's eye, but for the life of me I couldn't make out his face. It was all a blur. The mirror on the wall was completely shattered. Fresh blood decorated the lining and dripped out between the many shards. It was as though the mirror itself was injured. That alone would have been strange enough, had it not been for the fact that I couldn't see my reflection in it. Did you get a spider on me? As I left the red room I woke in, almost instantly I felt a wave of heat coming my way. I turned my body to face its direction and was surprised to set my eyes upon a hallway that looked as though it didn't have an end. It looked more like a never-ending tunnel than any hall I'd seen before. What's this? No, it can't be. Surely. Hello? At that moment, I thought the worst, even if my predicament was as I had feared. I decided quite quickly to stop thinking altogether and instead concentrate on finding someone or something, anything. Can I go back in there? I meant to check the closet first. Hanging in the closet was an arrangement of scorched clothing. The remnants of the discarded suits and dresses that hung along the clothing pole were so badly damaged they wouldn't have been useful for scraps at a yard sale. I'm glad I found the information. The open diary rested on the bedside table. Its pages were left blank. It was as though the diary had never been used. I wasn't tired. That's all I gotta say about the bed. Yeah, you have a novel for literally everything else, but that's all I gotta say about the bed. Navigate the hallways by tapping once on the floor in the direction you want to go to proceed to the next section of the hallway. Tap it. Waiting for me behind the first door of the hallway was a room containing what appeared to be a world of knowledge. If I could have written down every detail of every piece of information that I ever learned over the course of my entire life, it probably would have fit in here. That's oddly specific. I wasn't sure what to think, so I decided to rely on what my eyes would show me. Seeing was believing. I don't remember ever seeing this place before. Oh, crap. Okay. picked up a leather-bound book from the shelves and scanned through the pages. It's an archive of every psychic medium case I'd ever had, up until the incident that brought me here. My hands began to tremble as I read over page 1. To my astonishment, it described my first case. I was visiting an elderly lady in Central Peak Valley about her dog that had just passed away. The dog was an ill-tempered corgi named Walter that liked to chew at the lady's heels as she sat eating her TV dinner in the evening. It was one of my more difficult cases, seeing as the spirit and I didn't talk the same language. Not to mention they were different species. It was a good thing that the psychology course I took had a class covering animal behavior and the importance of body language and communication, I thought. I don't know why I'm so tired. Ooh, can I break the glass? The library was home to a display case holding a gem-encrusted metal dagger. Whilst the dagger was certainly impressive, I couldn't get my hands on it. I couldn't see a keyhole, but on trying to open the display case, I noticed it was sealed with some kind of locking mechanism. Okay. There's a door here. Can I open this? The contents of the cabinet in the hallway didn't prove to be much use. Black ash and charred wood filled the insides to the brim. What on earth happened here? I pondered. The second room in the hallway was a bizarre-looking dining hall. A long, well-made table with a soft green cover stretched down what appeared to be another endless hallway. Only this time the hallway didn't have any light at the end, not even a little bit. Go away. And then he appeared. Who's he? Ah, Mr. Geller, how nice of you to finally arrive. Might I suggest a more punctual approach in the future? I do wager it's a little too late for that now, however. So tedious to wait. I'm not sure which one I want to do. Let's question him. This is all so confusing. How exactly do you know who I am? Where are we? Come now, Mr. Geller. Let's not play coy. For you and I both know exactly why and where you are. Well, you are not a fool, I gather. The mysterious gentleman was dressed in an expensive-looking blood-red suit. His tan and healthy skin gave him an ageless appearance, though his skeletal features, coupled with golden cane that he rested his weight on, hinted otherwise. He inclined his head and watched me with a short, cocky smile and hinting raised brows. At that moment, I could have sworn his eyes changed to match the color of his suit. The taste of iron haunted my mouth. You disappoint me, Zachary. To think I even had this fine spread made for you on arrival. One would think you would have... Talking this much makes my jaw hurt. After throwing his head back to laugh heartily, the man in the red suit slammed the bottom of his golden cane upon the floor and left without another word, vanishing into thin air as quickly as he came. I need a text-to-speech app. So, Where's that spread? I want some of that. Roses, dinner plates, and rusted cutlery were arranged neatly on the dining table. The words Vino Tinto Aramentos and a symbol of phoenix and flight were depicted in the accompanying wine bottle. The table was set for one. Drink the wine. My eyes soon wandered to the accompanying vintage robe. I deliberated the pros and cons of sobriety in my current situation. There are no be drunk. Be drunk. You trust me, I as many times as I've seen these situations, you won't be drunk. Whatever circumstances led me here, logical or not, at that moment I had to make a decision whether or not to accept the invitation of a ready-filled glass of red wine. Yes, take the wine. I shrugged weakly and raised the wine glass, exclaiming a quiet cheers to whoever might have left to hear from me. This is where we find out that it's drugged. You pour some more? Reaching for the other items on the table resulted in my hand going right through them and touching the soft cover beneath. If I had any sanity left at that point in time, the event would certainly have eaten away at it just a little bit more. So instead we shrug and go, it is what it is. The clock showed 2. The pendulum raged on, making an awful racket. Carrying the knife through the silence, on closer inspection, I noticed that it didn't matter how many times it would swing, the time didn't change. Like it was stuck in the moment. Another mirror. This one isn't broken though. Nope. Alright guys, I think I'm going to call that episode here for today. I'm just too tired to continue talking, and there's a lot of talking involved in this game apparently. So, until next time.